Oh boy, Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast loses $125 million on their quarterly earnings. Yeah, that's right. The quarterly earnings have come out. Hasbro has dug their hole so much deeper than they thought they ever would get there. They're laying off people left, right, and center, closing offices in Brazil, and it just doesn't get any better for them. From the makers of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, we now know where things lie. 5 years ago, when Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast announced their fire design and the top down for their design for Magic the Gathering, all of us sat there and went, well, what is this going to do? Then a couple years later, they come out with all these different card styles. And today we have, 70 to 100 different products for Magic the Gathering in a year. And all of us sat there and went, you guys are overprinting it. You are overdoing the game. You were making it unaffordable for people to stay in this game because there's too many products. No one can keep it straight. No one has an idea on what's going on with it. And like your booster pack, you might open Draft Shaft, you might open something that's a winner, and we see that continuing today in the world of Magic the Gathering. They put out 70 plus products, and maybe one is the breadwinner for all of those products, and that is what's going on. Hasbro is mixing up the numbers. They continue to mix them. They continue to pull the shade over the shareholders' eyes. But where they lie today is not in a good place. Well, the Hasbro quarterly 4 results are in, and they're not looking good. Like I said at the beginning, $129 million they missed their targets by, which is gigantic. A lot of this is just, it's a whatever burger. It doesn't tell you much, but ultimately what we can get out of here is their blueprint 2.0. They're trying to engage customers across games, play, and experiences, enhance Hasbro's gaming leadership. Well, geez, I think you guys failed in that one with the OGL, the Open Gaming License controversy, especially when you put up one of your executives and he says that white people have to leave the game. Like, you're telling people to leave Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't see you coming across engaging all consumers. Focus on fewer, bigger brands to engage consumers and delight fans. So more focus on Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, Nerf, Peppa Pig, Play-Doh, Hasbro Gaming, and Transformers. Hasbro Gaming being their digital games market, where Arena or MTGO, which they recently gave to another third-party developer, which actually good thing on the front there. If you have an MTGO account, they're finally enacting two-factor authentication. So hopefully you don't get hacked at that game. Advanced direct to consumer and licensing. Oh, that means more secret layers are coming, guys. More direct to consumer products. Meaning Hasbro Pulse is going to be ramped up. Secret layers are going to be ramped up. So if you guys want to buy your Magic cards, you might as well stop looking at your local game store and just buy direct. That's what they want you to do. Understand and deliver for our fans with the Brand Insights platform. So they're going to try and understand what you want. However, they knew what people wanted 10, 15 years ago. They did it quite well, but instead they're trying to milk us for every dime we have. Meaningful progression towards transformation. Oh, they're transforming everything. Oh, great. That explains why Magic the Gathering has gone so downhill. Arena barely cracks any viewership on Twitch. When you go onto Twitch and see who's playing in what games, Arena is under 5,000, or Magic the Gathering as a whole is under 5,000 viewers, where Arena is maybe sitting around 2,000 to 3,000 people watching it. That is a poor cry from where it used to be. Where I used to stream this game and we would get lots of people viewing. I used to make decks. I used to do videos on decks. But you know what? People did them better, so I walked away from the game mostly because of their riggage in the game. There's so many things wrong with MTG Arena that I just can't play the game. Improved adjusted operating profit margin. Okay, so they're always here for project profit margin because they're cutting 15% of the workforce. So the operating costs are out the window. That means quality is going to go down, and you're going to get and enjoy what you get from this company. Wizards of the Coast delivered another record-breaking year. This is probably the biggest point in here. Magic the Gathering became Hasbro's first billion-dollar brand. I have to say, when you print 70 to 100 products in a year and literally have a license to print money, then the brand is going to go through the roof in comparison to how much you print. So the more you print, the more money Magic the Gathering is going to give you back. That's what it is now. They have sat there and said, we're going to print the product to oblivion, and we just make money off of it. A Magic the Gathering booster pack is worth more than a American dollar, and that is where it comes down to. The more they produce, the more they print, the more money they're going to get back. It costs them pennies on the dollar to make these cards, and they sell them for $5-6 a pack. So of course they're their number one brand, their $1 billion brand, because they have made so many products out of the gate, and people just sit there and here's my money. Here, open my wallet. Just take it. Just take it. You know what? I've stopped generally buying Magic the Gathering. I've stopped playing the game. I want to play with friends. I just don't have any to play anymore. The one way I was playing with Arena, and that has made things nearly impossible without dropping thousands of dollars into the program for cards you will never own. That's the problem. There is no real format for us to play on anymore. No sanctified format. No official format that is possible to play viewers like you. Full year growth of Peppa Pig and Play-Doh. Oh boy. Hasbro products for Marvel and Star Wars. While Marvel's not doing too well, their movies are sinking pretty fast. And same with Star Wars. Star Wars isn't seeing very good turnaround. Full year growth in key investment areas, direct-to-consumer up 15% and licensing up 5%. By the way, Marvel and Star Wars are both owned by Disney, and Disney has already cut ties with Hasbro over the princesses of Disney, giving that to Mattel. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see in the near future Disney cutting more ties with Hasbro, making Hasbro that sweet benefit for someone to scoop them up and buy them and turn their company into something else. On track to deliver 250 to 300 million annualized run rate cost savings by the end of 2022. Well, that was their 50% cut of employees status. So, you know, they cut the jobs, they saved themselves some money. It looks great to the shareholders, but everyone knows this isn't going to end well. Continue investments in growth initiatives, focus on reducing inventory, paid $385 in dividends. While the dividend was like 4.55, it's down to 4.5 per share. Repurchase 125 in Hasbro common stock, so they're clawing back at their own stock so people don't run away with their stock. Purchase of D&D Beyond for $146 million. Then they turn around and said, we're getting rid of the OGL. And everyone left the platform. Now, in all of this, apparently 50,000 people unsubscribing from D&D Beyond did not affect their bottom line. At $6 a head, what is that, $250,000 in 1 month? And I gotta say, probably more than half of those aren't coming back. We're talking millions of lost revenue a year, not a month. It's only a $250,000 a month, but over 4 months, that's $1 million. So it's going to cost them a few $1 million because people decided that they're leaving. Yeah, they came back with the Creative Commons and a few people went back, but not nearly as many went back to D&D as they went and opened up their wallets to all the other tabletop programs out there. Repaid $88 million to debt and then $513 million in cash at the end of the year. So they have $500 million that they can just throw around and buy up something else. You know, I guess one of the biggest things here is Entertainment One, or E1, which is the production company for the Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out. They are looking to offload that company. They say it's doing nothing for the bottom line. They're trying to get rid of it. Ultimately, apparently there's a documentary coming out for D&D. This is going to be very interesting. Joe Manganiello and Kyle Newman are set to direct that. That'll be an interesting thing to look in for Dungeons and Dragons to see which way they actually spin it. Oh, look, another Mr. Beast appearance. Mr. Beast is partnering with Nerf coming out very soon. You know, the last Mr. Beast thing that Hasbro did was the Mr. Beast thing on Arena that no one won. They still, to this date, never announced who the winners were, even though it was supposed to be public knowledge. More Transformers stuff coming out, D&D stuff, The Recruit, which is some Netflix show, Wakanda Forever, and The Brothers War, and then Play-Doh and Clue. Yeah, this looks like the highlights of quarter four. Mr. Beast with Nerf is very interesting. Ultimately, they lost $129 million, and it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all when they decided to move 11% up on the cap for how much Magic the Gathering is going to cost your local game store and passing that on to the consumer. A lot of the consumers said, bye-bye. We're not buying into the hype. We're not buying into the product anymore. Even though Phyrexia All is One for Magic the Gathering does look like a very hot set, I still don't think it's going to do very well in the long run because Standard as a format has been completely waylaid. It's gone. The Standard format is not being played at local game stores. And if I look at my local game stores, there's not a Standard night to be seen. They're focusing so much more on Commander when it comes to Magic the Gathering that it's made it very difficult in the long run for them to continue this run with Magic the Gathering. They are losing sight of the game. They've lost it a few years ago when they really decided to do the fire design and focus on Commander. That focus on Commander is going to be the downfall, the complete downfall of Magic the Gathering. They need to get back to their roots and actually start focusing on Standard, start focusing on versus battles instead of multiplayer for Magic the Gathering, because multiplayer was an offshoot thing of what happened in the long term, but it isn't the main focus of Magic the Gathering. You don't have 4 to 6 pods constantly of people playing. Yes, we grew up and played multiplayer as a group, but that was never the focus of it. It was always 1v1, and that is where they're losing their way in Magic the Gathering, and what's going to be the complete downfall to it, because once they milk Commander players dry, there's no one left to go after. So ultimately, consumer product segment net revenue by geographically, well, totally minus 26%. That is huge. Quarter four saw $1 billion in sales. This is in the millions, of course. They're not doing very well. Full year change minus 10% there. Yeah, ultimately, they did not do very well this year, and I'm not surprised with where they went and how they started pushing the products, and with the very end there. We'll have to wait until quarter one's results to see how D&D did affect them, but I don't suspect it affected them that much because D&D only brings in about $300 million into their total revenue share, so we will have to wait to see for that part. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is Proud Canadian Phoenix signing off here. I hope you like this little bit of an update on how Hasbro is burning their own fences. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.